8 p.m. at night. For those that are in the guild, we have Shadowhunters. Undermine, we have Shadowhunters Stormrage. We have Fearless Legends, which is over on Area 52. At some point, we will get that changed to Red Deception, still having issues. And last but not least, we have Dead Again, which is over on Zul'jin. Mostly what we're going to discuss tonight was Shadow Council, questions on ranks, and basically I want to discuss our officer, co-GM, Kurungar. He obviously somehow or another got himself banned. I'm not exactly sure what happened. He's either suspended or banned. He told me banned. I'm not sure. And by the way, in the guild now, as a sub committee, is Destroyus. He is speaking for Sodium, which is our elite sister guild. Most of the guys in there, their gear scores are 900 and above. Currently, Leo's is at 925. So, and these guys are ahead of the curve in Mythic, I believe. So, co-GM Shaq. I need for you to be with me on this one. And also Tina. Tina, I would like to go ahead and permanently demote Core since he's off and may not be getting on for quite a while. And at this point in time, he really is not able to do anything within the game, so I need a co-GM that can actually do the job. Unfortunately, he's not able to. What say you, we just move him down the officer and keep him there until he returns?
Yeah, that's a good idea.
That's fine.
Okay. That means I'm going to have to do the same thing over on Zul'jin. Kaz, I'd like to change your rank to co-GM for Zul'jin. You'll be taking Core's spot. I really appreciate that, especially since you're on the offset hours. That'll help with me if you don't mind.
Yep, that's fine.
All right, so let's change her rank to co-GM, Mort. And I'll take care of the re-ranking before I log off tonight.
Okay,
Quick, how
you log on?
Quick, how is the rating going on over there on Undermine?
We're doing all right.
Can you give me any details about the rating?
We're still on normal. We're on our 5th boss. The only thing we're having troubles with is finding healers, so I actually switched back to my healer, and now we're up and running pretty well again. Most of us are in item level 900, so we're doing all right.
What rank is Birgit in the guild?
What was that?
I'm nothing. And hello, I'm sorry I'm late, Dave.
That's fine, Birgit. I want you move to officer. Go ahead and give her an officer rank, Mort. Thank you very much. We'll move you up in guild. If Shaq, if you're on, if you don't mind grabbing hold of Birgit's main tune and putting her in a officer position.
All right, hang on.
Shaq, you wrote about 99% of the rules for Shadowhunters. Even back when we were Red Deception. You have been with me for a very long time. In fact, our original website that the rules were written on, unfortunately, we lost that for quite some time a while back. You've been with me for a very long time, and I appreciate all the hard work. I'm fixing to burden you with please going over the ranks with everybody, if you don't mind.
Just naming them, or hang on, I gotta find Burger real quick, because I can't fucking find her.
All right, well, you and Burger go over that real quick, and then, yeah, I want you to go over the ranks and basically what they do.
My main is Jedi, Birgit.
Well, that would be why I can't find you.
Brady, are you able to talk?
Jedi. Okay, so hang on. So she is now officer, right? You said.
Yeah, she's now an officer.
Okay.
I don't know if Brady's able to talk yet or not, but at least he's in the meeting.
Did you move him in?
Yeah, he's here.
Okay.
He can talk after you do. Like I said, I'd really like the ranks gone over real quick, and you're the perfect person to go over them.
Okay, at the bottom we have alts. Those are just people who have other mains in the tune. They have to, for fuck's sake, be labeled as an alt with the name of the person who actually is the owner of the tune. Otherwise, if I see a blank, I kick them out. So if you invite people and it's an alt, make sure you mark them so that they don't get mad at me when I kick them out. Then we have members. Those are the people who just hang out, socialize, just chill out. Then we have raid team members. They're the people who are actually in an active raid. If they're not in an active raid, they should not be labeled as a raid team. Then we have raid officers who are in an officer rank specifically for raid teams, although they are still officers. They mostly help with their specific raid teams. There's quite a few of them. Over them are officers that help with the running of the guild daily. Keep an eye on guild chat. Senior officers kind of keep an eye on the officers, make sure they're not fucking things up. Then we have bankers who take care of our bank stuff. Thank you, because I don't want to do that. Then we have co-GMs. That would be me, DPS, Thirsty. That's all we have right now, right? Yeah. At least in Shadowhunters. I don't know all the other guilds who their co-GMs are. All the officers answer to them. Thirsty is the raid boss in Shadowhunters. DPS Granny is the lead banker for us. I am the person who kicks people out for being shitheads. And then there's Rip, who is our god.
All right. Open channel. Does anybody have any questions? Fine, I'll take that as a no. Within these ranks, we have what they call a shadow council. Okay. If somebody, say Mike's a member, he's basically just new to the guild. And Mike says, you know what the fuck, man, this guild is quiet. What do we do with Mike? Do we get in G-Chat and admonish him in G-Chat?
No, we whisper him.
We whisper him, exactly. What do we whisper them?
Please keep G-Chat PG. Please the rules. I believe some of them are listed on the website.
Keep chat. I actually just tell them keep chat PG. It's in the list, and this is your only warning.
And do not disgrace the guild.
Right. Now, you only get one warning, okay?
Yep.
That goes simple fact. When we invite, we tell people the guild is PG, and like, we better be doing it. Like those of you who are doing the invite, please make sure you tell people that this guild is PG. If they want to get a little more racy or have a little bit more strong language, you come in the mumble. That's what it's for. We've got 1,000-man mumble. There's no reason why you can't get in here. Okay, I don't have 1,000 people coming in the mumble. It just doesn't happen. In fact, the majority of the people that come in the mumble are basically senior officers of some sort, or a raid officer, or raiders. The majority of our members don't even come in here. So most of you guys already know not to say anything, and usually it's our members that screw up. So that's the reason why it's so important for you guys to watch G-Chat. If I, for some reason, find out that you guys aren't at least, this guy doesn't get at least 5 or 6, this is PG, then I'm going to find out exactly who I need to remove as an officer. It's your job to help keep this G-Chat clean. What I don't want to see is somebody admonishing somebody else in open chat. Okay, that G-Chat should never see any drama. And anytime you try to tell somebody in open chat, don't do that. You're bringing attention on you and them, and now they're embarrassed and they're going to lash out more than likely. Most people who do. If you make me feel uncomfortable, I'm going to say something, and unfortunately, it's going to be not to my benefit, because more than likely I'm going to get kicked for it at this point. And that's one of the reasons why we have a shadow council set up, so it doesn't happen. You know, it's very important that you whisper these people and let them know that this is not acceptable. If they tell you to go fuck yourself, then you know what? That was their only chance. They're gone. But it's up to you to be nice about it the best way you possibly can. Be a little political if you can. You know, this is PG, go to Mumble. You know, Shaq basically says this is PG. You knew that when you came in the door. That's fine too. Whatever the case may be, here's the thing. We voted on it for how many years, Mort?
We've had more conversations about that than any other conversation topic ever.
Okay, and I've allowed it to come up for vote every year. Okay, this is the first year that I'm not putting it up for a vote. Okay, over 11 years of voting on whether the channel should be PG or not, it's held for 11 years. Okay, coming on 12 years. No, 12 years. Basically, this guild has been PG for 12 years. There's no reason for us to change now. You know, it seems to be our place. And when I say guild, I mean all 4 guilds. Okay. We are a guild. We're not just shadow hunters. We're not just fearless legends. We're not just dead again. We are one guild as a whole, which brings me to another problem I've got. Here in Mumble, we have people who get out of hand. I've tried this in the past. I don't know why it doesn't work, but I have people put tunes in other guilds to basically help with any drama that may happen in another guild. Okay, senior officers or above, I've tried to get this to work with. I have yet to make it work, and I can't figure out why. You guys will put a tune in another guild to make sure if something happens in Mumble that you can go over there and handle it prospectively. You know, say somebody in here gets way out of hand, they're gonna get kicked. So Shaq decides to go over to Zul'jin and kick this person. Well, she no longer is in the guild. Why? Because she didn't log on for a month. You know, my OCD basically is one thing in this guild, okay, and I've always had the same problem. If you are not logging in to your tune, and obviously you're not keeping up with your rank status, because it means to me that you're not keeping up with a job that was given to you, so you get demoted, okay? Ranks are not privilege, okay? You just don't get it because I feel like giving you a rank. You actually earn that rank by doing, you know, whatever it is that I ask you to do, whether it be an officer. Officers basically keep an eye on GChat, make sure nothing happens. You know, invite, remove somebody if they get out of hand. You know, your job is basically just that. With any other guild, it's just an officer ranking. Believe it or not, you just got your recruiting rank privileges back. For a while there, I wouldn't even allow you guys to recruit. You know, I'd allow you to remove people, but you know, it just made more sense going into the summer. We needed to really, you know, stack our numbers back up, as we always do every summer. So I gave the privileges back. As we go into the winter months, I don't know. Maybe I'll change my mind. I don't do the same thing every year with the ranks. As far as recruiting goes, I usually try to leave that to the recruiters. And basically, it stops some people from just bouncing right back into the guild after being removed.
Can I make a comment on that?
Sure.
At the very least, officer rank, grade officers need to be able to invite, because I can't be the only person, and I'm assuming the other teams have the same thing, cannot be the only person who invites to my raid.
Okay, that is an exception. You guys are allowed. But like I said, raid officers usually have a better idea of what's going on with the raids. Officers basically keep an eye on the guild. And usually, because the guild is compartmentalized as far as the raids go, if something happens in a raid, the majority of you already know what's going on. Am I incorrect?
No, that's correct. I just want to make sure that if you change it, you don't remove it from raid officers so they can still invite.
No, raid officers have to have that ability to remove and to invite. It's absolutely essential to this guild. This guild, by far most, is still nothing more than a raiding guild, okay, with a social atmosphere. Okay, at one time we were specifically for raiding, and we kicked people and this, that, and the other when it didn't work right. After a while, because people, friends, and family wanted to be a part of the guild, we started allowing people to stay in the guild more often than removing people, and then we ended up with a social atmosphere after a few years, and we just decided, you know what? If we can get elitists in here to run in a group, that's great. but they have to still follow our general rules. And that's one of the reasons why Curse, Tater, Destroy Us, and all them started another guild, because they couldn't follow the more social rules that we have here. They wanted the straight up, no mercy, kill type rules, where if you're not even keeping your numbers up, you get kicked from the guild. So Shadowhunters is not that kind of a guild. We're actually a social raiding guild. Basically, we're trying to stop the drama in the guild. There's been a drama build as of late, and I've noticed it, and I'm really not happy with it. I've seen a few people quit because we basically had GChat inundated with "don't do that." Okay, green lit up. People chimed in, and there was some of them were officers. I was not happy with what I saw. Okay, I don't want to see it again. If you guys have to admonish anybody in GChat, it needs to be in a whisper. Okay, it needs to be handled properly, and it also, I need to have some sort of in-game email to whatever tune is GM. Okay, I'm not getting those anymore. I used to get it when somebody would get removed from the guild. I would be notified. And I would be notified by the person who did the removal normally. I haven't had one of those in a long time. That seems to have just gone away. I understand people, if you're going to take the time to do the job, please email me. That way I don't have to come in and try to check the logs. Because what happens is, I've got a bunch of people in here getting recruited in by Nodo. He's an amazing recruiter. Okay? Recruiting like crazy. And I see somebody missing from the guild. I'm like, my numbers are off. Why am I missing people? And I go through the logs and, well, I don't see nothing but recruitment. I don't know who the hell was removed. I have to wait till while progress brings itself up to date to see who was removed. But then again, I don't even know who removed him or why. It's little things like that that can cause drama later.
I don't have your email. Can you make that available?
In-game email. Basically, send me mail to my
Okay,
to Rip and
got it.
Destroy.
So, Dave, gotta tell you, even I was unaware of that. I did not
Okay,
know we
well-
were supposed to send you a mail.
Well, I had spoken to you once before a bit, but it's been a long time since I brought this back up. But it was and still is a rule that I would really like to have followed, guys. I'm really serious about this. It allows me to cut off drama, especially if that individual is trying to cause problems somewhere else or trying to come back in the guild or whatever the fact may be. Say we're dealing with Jeff again, for those of you who know what I'm talking about. I really don't want this guy anywhere near my guilds, okay? And if he was removed, say he got back into the guild, okay, and then got removed again, I would know about it, okay, because somebody would have sent me an email on it, or an in-game mail. When I say email, I mean basically my Rip and Destroy tune, for any of you that know. And by the way, that will also be changing here probably in the next month. All my tunes are going back to David Illen. For those of you who have never heard that name, it's a name that I've used for years. I've used Rip and Destroy for the simple fact is I haven't been able to use David Illen in a long time because, well, my account's been offline. And Blizzard is finally letting me have it back, but next month.
Dave, a couple of comments from Jim Jones. He says he's having issues on Area 52 when he removes somebody. GChat just lights up and becomes a war zone. And also, the word shit, is that PG or classified as non-PG?
That is not PG, and we follow the MPAA rule, which is actually super easy to find online. But no, shit, fuck. Ass is allowed, hell is allowed, damn is allowed, as long as they don't get all spazzy. But those are the only mild cuss words that are actually allowed inside of PG movies anyway.
Damn, ass, and hell. Okay, if anybody didn't hear
Okay.
her, are the only words that are allowed. And as far as GChat lighting up, you know what, Jim, that's probably the only time Area 52 does light up. Yeah, because other than that, it's a quiet freaking guild. And as far as people being removed, if you're whispering them and you remove them, you know what, that's fine. Let GChat light up. Okay, it'll calm right back down. If people leave, that's fine too. You know what, we're trying to create a guild over there, and it's going to take some time. And what we need is more like-minded people and more people who freaking talk, which would be nice. And eventually we'll have a raid team running up and strong over there, like it should be. And thank you for all your hard work. I'm sorry it's such a nuisance, but I told you guys that guild is not going to be easy to put together. It's going to take some time.
Dave, the
Yes, Tanya.
notifying you about the wins being kicked, that's only for them ones that are online and they're like something happens. It's not for the ones like Shaq and I do, right?
No, Heather, it's not. Basically, what you and Shaq do is you guys take care of the removals. Right now, I think I've got you guys at 3 months.
2. Unless you want me to change it.
No, I don't want you to change it. Not until after summer, and I told you, you're not going to like this. I usually don't change that until September. So from till September, you're going to be doing 3-month removals. After September, you can go back to 2.
Okay.
Okay, I was doing 2. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was doing 2 also.
I told both of you stop that.
Did not.
I was
Yeah,
doing
I did.
3.
Yeah, see, she's doing it right. You guys, you two other two aren't listening.
I just had a,
Or it could be because you told me like 3 different times. Which
Go
is
ahead,
fine,
Dad, I'm
'cause
sorry.
I'd rather have multiple reminders.
I had a question from what you were saying, Shaq, when you were talking about the positions. You said that in the officers, and you said that you do the kicking. You just meant just for the
The
not
inactive.
being there. If
The
somebody
inactive.
gets out of
Yeah.
line, if somebody gets out of line, you guys aren't like having a committee meeting and waiting to kick them.
No. The,
Oh, okay.
I mean, it
Yeah,
should be
okay, I
the
just wanted
senior
to check.
officer. The senior officer online should be doing it if it has to happen. I'm clearly not always online, so other people do it when they have to. So
Right. Now, as far as removing people from the guild, that is not for just a senior officer or above. Okay, that goes for anybody in this guild. If you have to remove somebody for being out of line, there is no whoever is the top guy online. I'm gonna tell you right now, that goes for any of you. If somebody is completely out of line in my G chat and we can't get them under control, we have to remove them. I don't care who it is, whether it's an officer, senior officer, raid officer, co-GM, whoever. Okay, do the removal. Send me an in-game mail. Okay, that's all I ask. You know, that doesn't fall under whoever's having privilege. Okay, I don't care if Shaq's on and Sid is on. If Sid sees it and is able to handle it first, then do so. You'll make Shaq mad because she didn't get to kick somebody, but the job was taken care of.
they usually let me do it. So
Yeah, it's just over here we have bonus points for who does it first. So
I just got sad I didn't get to kick Conan myself, but whatever.
Oh, there you go. So, yeah, who kicked Conan? I wonder.
Thirsty. I thought it was thirsty.
It was thirsty. It was
Thirsty
thirsty.
did a very good job at it too.
Back to what I want to discuss. I think we pretty much have beat that horse down, and I'm really glad we had a chance to go over that. Tina, do you have anything that you'd like to add?
Not this time, I don't.
Okay. One thing I would like to ask. I need 2 volunteers. Okay. I don't care who it is, but I need you to have a tune in each one of my guilds as a senior officer. Okay. You need to log on at least once every 2 weeks onto that officer rank. What I want you to do, basically, if something happens in Mumble, that gives us an officer in every guild to be able to handle any drama that's going on. Whether it's on Area 52 and nobody else is on except for that one individual and he's in Mumble basically cussing everybody out. We can ban him out of here and then remove him out of the guild. 2 individuals.
To be in every guild?
To be in every guild on a tune as a senior officer, you need to log on. I don't care if you play majority of your time in Storm Rage, but you need to be able to go over to Undermine. You need to be able to go over to Area 52 or Zul'jin and be able to handle any drama that's going on prospectively.
I can do that, Dave. It's about the only thing I'll be useful for here shortly.
Okay.
I don't mind.
How often are you on, Saya?
Pretty much every day.
Okay, so I've got Mike, Sias, and I believe I'm going to try to pull Orc into this one. Orc, are you on? No? Okay. I'm going to have Orc, Sias, and Mike do that. Is there anybody else want to volunteer for it or leave it alone? I need one more person if you'll take it. If not, then I'll take the 3 I'm getting.
I'll volunteer.
Cal, are you sure?
You betcha. I'm on
Okay.
every day.
Mort, do me a favor. Give him back his officer rank.
Jim Jones said he'll volunteer.
Jim Jones is everywhere anyway.
Yeah. You can go ahead and bump my tunes back up if you
I
want,
am
David.
too,
I'll
but
try
I'm
to
not going to
cycle
put my
it.
foot in it.
Just go ahead and put him as a, you know what, move him into a senior officer. That's probably the better area for him. So that way we can keep the ranks where they should be. I'm sorry, I'm writing something at the same time.
I got to pay attention to my daughter just for a sec here, Dave, okay?
No, go ahead.
And do we need to log through those right now to get moved up, Dave, or do you want us to just get with somebody over the next week?
I'm sorry, in reference to what?
Moving to up for officer.
Yeah, we'll take care of that throughout the week this week. This is
All right.
not something that has to be done this very moment. Keep in mind, for those of you who don't know me very well, I project a lot of stuff as we go into months. I don't say we got to do things now. I'm more likely, I'll come on and say, here in a couple months, we're going to do this. Here in a few months, we're going to do this. Next year, I'd like to do this. I see myself here every year. I see myself being able to, handle whatever we got going on. And I usually try to project something for the guild, whether it be good, bad, or indifferent, depending on the situation. All right, so I got my 4. I got Orc, Cal, Mike, and Sias. What I want for you guys to do is I want you to get with all the co-GMs for every guild that was there. Quick, if you don't mind making sure you take care of these guys for me.
Sure.
Thank you for showing up to the meeting. I don't know what happened with Dark.
Yeah. Don't know.
That's all right. I thought I adjusted the time for him. Apparently not.
Okay, I'm back. Sorry.
That's fine. Cal, you're to get with the co-GMs of each guild.
Okay.
Make sure you're ranked up. Orc will do the same, Mike will do the same, and Sias will do the same. Is anybody else unclear of how the ranking system works or how our Shadow Council works?
Well, I was a little bit confused before, but I'm not anymore.
All right, because I'm going to tell you something. If I find an officer admonishing somebody in GChat, I will deal with it severely. Because what happens is that causes more drama than what the person is that's actually starting the drama. I have had really bad repercussions over this over the years, and it's turned out really bad. It's the reason why we came up with Shadow Council.
Yeah, if you pretty much if you become part of the drama, you fucked up.
Yeah, and that happened to me.
Well, I've got a really good bunch of people in here, and majority of you will tell me to go fuck off.
Go fuck off, Dave.
If I'm wrong, okay? If I'm wrong, and you know what? I'll take the beating. And Need will tell you right now that I will take one hell of a tongue lashing if I'm wrong. I don't get mad. I don't kick people for telling me I'm wrong. Well, you know what? You went a little further over the line, Shaq. I had to kick you. You just pissed me off to no end. That was over the phone.
Yeah, but she's Shaq.
Oh, trust me. Me and her both were sick, and she nailed me good.
So, Dave, would you like us to give the Yous Got Shotted example of not becoming part of the drama?
Yeah, go ahead.
We used to have a person called Jeff. His tune was Yous Got Shotted. A lot of you might remember him. One day in guild chat, somebody said something, and Jeff jumped in and told him he had to watch his mouth and keep it PG in guild chat. In guild chat, he typed that. 4 people piped up and said, "Oh, what did he say that was so important?" And he told them to mind their damn business. Well, 5 people had to jump in and try and find out why he was yelling at those 4 people, and they had to go get a bunch of their friends. The first guy got some of his friends, and the person that Hughes was defending got some of their friends. And by the time I got on, I literally had 40 plus people in guild chat bickering and arguing over whether somebody had a right to tell somebody to do something like that in guild chat. So that's why we do it in a whisper. That's why we keep it private. And we have found through years of experience that if you kick somebody, maybe 5 or 6 people say, hey, why'd you do that? If you just don't reply, they'll shut up, and tomorrow morning nobody will remember it happened.
And if it is an issue, tell them to get with the GM. Okay? I'm sorry, dude. You know what? You need to get with the GM. Why was it kicked? You know what? I've told you what you need to do.
Oh, so I can't say because I got bored anymore?
You can do what you want, Shaq. I don't deal with you. It's like me trying to tell Tina what to do. You know what? I came on one day and I was missing, what, 50 guild members because they pissed her off?
Yeah, and if somebody puts me on ignore, they're gonna be gone too.
My point, guys, like I said, I came on one day and Tina had removed 50 people from my guild. You know what I did? I did nothing. I said, Tina, I love you. Let's move forward. Okay? Because if you pissed Tina off, those of you who don't know Tina as Granny, DPS Granny, the most loving person I think I've ever met. I absolutely love this woman to death. You did something really bad. And you know what? And then to start a fight with her, something's just wrong with you. So, yeah, that's just a bad idea.
She is the sweetest lady who will wipe the floor with your ass if you mess with her. That's why we love her.
Piece
Yeah,
of
well-
advice, this is one battle you cannot win.
Well, with her, no. And,
And we
you know
don't
what?
have her back anyway, so.
Well, it's like being removed from, being removed by core. You know what? I'm sorry, if you were removed by core, something really bad happened. It just doesn't happen, you know? And I've seen him actually remove people, and he'll call me up and tell me usually. One of the few people that still follow the rules. I would really appreciate that. Anid, how is your raid doing?
We're doing good. 9 of 9 and 2 of 9.
Okay, Bit, I know you just lost a couple of raid members, but how is your raids going?
We are 6 of 9 on normal, and our team is actually coming out pretty nice. We're looking for a healer, but other than that, I think we're really happy with the people we have on our team.
Okay, Shaq?
Though I have to rebuild my fucking team again, so.
I was going to ask Orc, but apparently she's... Okay. By the way, I don't know if you heard me say earlier that I want you to put a tune in every guild as a senior officer so you can help with Mumble.
Okay, that's what I missed. Yeah,
Yep.
I have a tune in every guild. They're not 110 in every guild, but I do have a tune in every guild.
That's not what I'm asking you. I'm asking you to make sure that you let every co-GM know that you're one of the ones that are going to be moved into a senior officer position to be able to help with the guild. I do require at least every 2 weeks for you to log on to that tune or it will get demoted. Okay. And as far as that's concerned, what about raid members that have been off for 30 days? What do we do with those? Do we demote those back down to member?
Usually the raid leader knows somebody's going to be gone or they're not showing up and they do it. So I don't think I've ever had an issue with an actual raid member.
Actually, I have. I've logged on and I've had to demote in Shadowhunters alone. I demoted 4 different people that had been off for a month and there was no note on them.
Although granted, I don't look at the month. I was looking at 2 months only. So.
No, I do, and it's one of the things I look at. And usually with officers, if you're off for more than a month without a note, I'll demote you too, because I'm wondering why you're not on doing your job. Now, if you're on an alt, that's fine. Make sure you log onto your officer tune at least once a month. It's basically any rank that you have within this guild. Please log onto your tune within a month, and if you don't think you're going to be on, or you're fixing to lose your account for a month, so you're going to be off, I don't care what it is, in your officer note, off for the month. Couldn't afford WoW, off for the month, whatever the situation may be. And here's the thing, we usually, as a guild, can pull together and figure something out, if you're having issues, but you got to let us know that too. Sias, I guess you're saying you're not going back to raiding?
No, I'm going to go back. I just don't know when. After surgery, I have no idea what it'll be like post-surgery. So I plan to go back. I just don't know when.
Okay. Let me take a look. Rich, do you have anything to add? Rich, are you still on with us? That's not good.
On the raid front, Area 52, Jimbo would really appreciate anybody giving him some tips or hints on how to actually construct a raid group and get it going.
All right, well, there you go. So we'll get with Jim when he's actually able to get on and talk. Kaz, do you have anything to add? Like I said, you've recently gained a new rank.
I wanted to point out one thing, sorry, about Area 52 and raiding. They do not have a Mumble channel set up for Area 52.
Okay, well, it's something we can take care of, Noda. It's not a big deal.
Just want to point it out.
No, that's fine. Mort will handle that. To be honest, we really don't have any people on Area 52 that are coming on, do we, as far as Mumble?
Only a couple now and then.
There were the questions in general chat, in guild chat, as to why there was no Mumble channel, but I just answered it by I'm not sure.
No, that's not. Right now it's Fearless Legends. I can't seem to, and I tried it again today. Apparently they're still keeping me locked out where I can't change any guild names. I don't know why. I'm going to put in a ticket again probably tomorrow.
Isn't the Mumble in their guild notes?
It is, but they actually want their own channel, which is fine. Like, you know, Dead Again or Shadowhunters. Most people just go to. The reason why I don't really worry about it, guys, because we normally just use Tavern. We either use Tavern XXX or Tavern PG. And the majority of us just go to Tavern. It's just that common.
Yeah, but if we want to get a raid group going
I'm
on
talking
there.
about for a raid, yeah.
Yeah, that's different. Nodo, by the way, now that you got my attention, thank you for all the recruiting. By the way, for those of you who don't know, and I'm sure most of you do, Nodo is one of our main recruiters. He is recruiting for all 4 guilds. He's the one that's gotten all of our numbers up. Meow is still doing his best, but I think due to computer issues or due to bandwidth or stuff, problems he's had in the past, he hasn't been able to really keep up. Nodo has really stepped it up and has really taken care of most of our recruitment. So our numbers are mostly due to Nodo. So for those of you get a chance, tell him thank you, because without him, we would definitely have been a lot lighter than we are now.
May I ask what tune Orcs is in Undermine so I can make sure she has the right ranks?
Let me go look, because I can't remember all my tune names.
All right.
Thank you.
Is there anything else that we need to go over this evening? Most of it, like I said, it was pretty light. I didn't want this meeting to go on forever, but I did want to address the drama and how we're handling it. It's extremely important that we do it correctly. As far as ranks go, do we need to demote anybody that I'm unaware of? And that's not a common question I usually ask, but I'm kind of just done with the drama.
Yes, but I wanted to talk to you about it privately, so.
Okay, then I'll deal with you on that here in a minute. Anybody else got anything else to add to the meeting?
I do want to point out, down in the Mumble support office, there's now a new room with multiple channels underneath. If you have an issue with your officer ranks or anybody says they have a problem, ask them to go into the room that they're assigned rank to. They can only enter that room to see if their ranks are working or not.
Okay, that's different. Cool, but different.
A what now?
Basically, I set up a series of rooms down under by my office that has every rank. If you're a senior officer, you'll only be able to get into the senior officer. That tells you your things are working, as they are showing.
Oh, you guys ain't gonna be able to get back up here. Don't jump down.
Yeah, wait till after the meeting, please.
Yeah, you guys wait for the meeting. Because I was the first one to go.
After the meeting, Dave, if you got a few minutes.
Yeah, I've got a few minutes for all you guys. Trust me. If anybody needs to pull me off to the side, so hold on one second. Let me write that down.
Dave.
So I got Shaq and Galdar and Mort, right?
What did I do?
I told you after the meeting I wanted to speak with
Oh,
you,
yeah,
so you're
I'm
not
sorry.
going anywhere.
Here's Area 52 Hoarder Alliance.
That is
Horde.
Horde.
Well, crap.
See, so you already messed up. You're too busy doing something else. Stay in the meeting. Anybody else want to add? Okay, I'd like to hear from our two bankers. Sheena, how's the banking going?
Pretty good. I mean, it could be a little bit fuller, but it's been pretty good.
Tina?
Our bank's going all right. I mean, we're keeping up with everything, but I was thinking about the other day why it's different this expansion than last. And the only thing I can figure is last expansion, I had a bunch of people that would donate to the guild bank, like things we actually need.
That helps.
But they're not doing it this time at all. Hardly ever. Just certain little people, certain people put in some all the time, but it's usually stuff we don't really need. But we need mats, like we need stuff for them, the feast you guys have, and we need that mostly is bacon. And then we always need herbs, always. The new
I know,
herbs.
right?
Yes, that would help tremendously.
Yeah.
I'm getting my warlock up for herbs.
Okay.
But yeah, I have the same issue, Granny. It's just hard for. I get fish in that. People put a lot of that stuff in.
Yeah. And some people, then when you ask people to do it, they do it for maybe a few times and then it stops again. So, it's like talk to a brick wall sometimes.
Does everybody know who Destroyus is?
I do.
Son, right?
It's Leo.
It is Leo. Leo, go ahead and say hello.
Did he become shy?
That's not hello.
I was gonna say,
No way
oh,
is
you
he
follow
shy.
photos as good as my kids do.
Don't be shy. Only Shaq bites.
He probably needs to set back up his audio wizard.
Only if I'm asked.
I think I actually had it offline for a short period of time, so that may be my fault.
For such a young, skinny kid, he sure has a deep voice. See, I can give him hell because he can't speak back.
I was young once.
I wasn't.
Yeah.
So I have a question for the bankers, and just kind of in general. I know that our raid group has had some questions as far as the bank use utility and what is kind of expected from the raid teams. What is the general expectations from the raid teams as far as the bank use? What is expected as far as kind of like what Tina just said, as far as donations, and how do we expect to utilize that so that it's both beneficial for the raid teams and the raid teams aren't just taking but also contributing? What do you bankers expect from us?
Okay, our guild should provide each raid team. This is what we provide. We provide the food, the flask, the potions, any things you need for your what's it called, like gems, and enchants. And if anybody needs any of that, you ask one of the bankers or one of the officers or GM, whoever's on, can get it for you if you can't. But all the raid officers should be able to do that. And in return, if everybody would put mats in there for any of them, any of that stuff would help a lot in exchange for doing that. And us, and we also pay for everybody's raid repairs, which that's been running in just in our guild. That's around $40,000, 40,000 gold a week for repairs. So, we're having to keep up with that, but we're not getting no donations. That's all.
I have a question about that.
Believe it or not, Shadowhunters last expansion, not this expansion, last expansion and the expansion before that, we provided everything for our raiders. Unfortunately, this last expansion was just nasty to all of us. I mean, we spent so much gold trying to make sure that we were all taken care of, and there was just no way. It just, we fell real short. We had no idea how expensive and how hard things were going to be this time around.
Yeah, I'm hoping the next expansion is better.
Dave, I have a question about that.
Here, hold on one second. Leo, can you talk now? All right. All right, go ahead and pull him back in. Try it now, Leo.
Hey, Leo.
Can you hear me now?
Yep. There he is.
Shut up, Tammy.
He sounds like Josh Turner, Tammy. That's what he sounds like.
Hey, Dave, I think
One curious question about the bankers. Are we right
Alright.
to throw old content stuff in there?
All right, hold on one second. Go ahead, quick.
Question that I had is, for instance, our blue raid team, we know that we're supposed to let the bankers do most of the stuff, but as a raid team, I feel that the raid team, since they use stuff, especially in this expansion, should also help go out and farm, help cook, help the bankers out. I don't know if you guys are okay with that, but because I know in the beginning you told me not to do that, but we've been kind of doing it a little bit.
Well, to be honest, when I first told you to do that, we were still trying to provide, okay? That has definitely changed since then. Yes, anything that the guild can provide back toward the bank will be immensely appreciated.
Okay.
My fingers would pay homage, yeah.
Yeah, because I think it's really important, especially for the guild repairs. If the raiders don't run the weekly dungeons, they need to do that. They need to get the weekly dungeons done. That supply money to the guild bank for the raid repairs.
Right. All right, Buster. Anything?
Just the thing about old content, mats and whatnot, throw it into the guild bank to support it.
Yes.
Because I've got a whole lot of cloth from old stuff.
I don't mind them putting old stuff in, we just sell it and it puts gold in,
All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and get ready to call this meeting. I don't like my meetings to run more than an hour. It really puts a burden on everybody's game time, and some of you guys actually just came in just for the meeting, so I want to make sure that we don't overrun. Thank you very much to all of you in this guild. Without you, I can't get this thing to run. At one time, yes, I used to run it all, every bit of it, the banking, everything. I learned a long time ago, you can't do it by yourself and actually have a functional guild. It's the reason why we're able to have 4 guilds. You have everybody in a ranking system doing their job. So don't think that your job is not important. Everything you guys do helps the guild. It just doesn't help me, it helps everyone. And it's important. It really is important. So please continue doing the jobs you're doing. If you do have to remove somebody, please send me an in-game mail, and if there's something going on, send me an in-game mail. I will respond within a day or two. I would definitely respond to any email that comes in to me. And if it's just a removal, I'll just send you a thanks. Thank you for letting me know. But I will respond to everything that gets sent to me. And as far as the bankers, if you can send mats, that's great. As far as the officers go, you guys continue doing a great job, but make sure you use that shadow council. If not, you're causing drama. You're not helping me.
Somebody pull Michael back in.
Hey, Meow, what was it you were trying to say?
I'm sorry, what?
Meow, who was trying to say something?
I think the next expansion is going to be all about Jaina plot more than something. What you go about the sir? I read on your show.
Okay. I got time for just a couple more questions. Anybody have anything else?
I got one thing. If all the co-GMs of all those guilds we're supposed to make tunes in would go to one room so we can get this sorted out, that would be great.
All right, that'll be fine. I need to speak to Shaq, Geldar, and Mort. I'm going to speak to Geldar first, then I'll speak to Shaq, and then Mort and I'll have a talk. Is there anybody else need to get with me before we call it a night?
Is there anybody over on Area 52? There's no senior officer.
Actually, believe it or not, I believe Nodo would be the one to talk to.
I'm leading a raid right now, and on Zul'jin I can't jump
Yeah,
over.
that's why I asked if we were going to be able to take care of this over the next week.
That's what I said. But like I said, get with Nodo. I believe Jim will be on. If I can, I will. I'm not going to do it tonight, or if you want to do it tomorrow, that'd be fine. For those of you who can't get somebody else to help them out, tomorrow I'll be on for a little bit. Get with me, and I'll take care of whatever other issues we may have. I'm sorry, and for those of you who don't know that I was in an auto accident, and before that I was actually having some medical issues before that. I have been offline quite a bit. I do apologize. It's not by design. Unfortunately, I had been injured. I am back. I am on more often. If you need me, please contact me. I will talk to anybody, whether it's just a member or co-GM. I try to respond to everybody within the guild because the guild as a whole is my family, and I'm sure you guys feel the same way.
I have 2 points I wanted to mention real quick. One regarding recruiting on all the other servers. If somebody accepts a guild invite after I've logged out, I will not have had a chance to update or put on a note. So that if someone is on, if you guys can take care of that for me. Because I try to stay long enough, but some people hold out and hold out and hold out, and then they accept, and I've already logged off.
Well, here's the problem, Nodo. If they are an alt and they are not marked, unfortunately, that's not good. So what's going to end up happening is we're going to probably end up removing them.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I just wanted to make you aware that that's what may be happening sometimes.
That's
I've had
fine.
the same issue with that, Dave, where I'll put out 80 invites, and I'll get 30 people to either accept or not accept, and I got 50 out there. I can come back an hour later, and they're not even all still accepted or declined yet.
Well, then do me a favor, Bit. If once you come back, go ahead and clean up your mess.
Usually do, yes, that's right. Usually, and then what I'll do is like when I'm on later or the next day when I go to do a series of invites, I'll go through and clean up the roster and make sure I got everything back up to date.
That's important. Like I said,
Or his wife will kill him.
Yeah, but it was like over here, we had, especially since it's in the same house, we had to make a lot of, talk with Lisa, and she had to actually look at it so she could understand that we're not trying to be a jerk or an asshole, but, we have no control over somebody that we're sending out an invite to, and if anyone doesn't understand it, I'll get you the program and you can do a series of 100 invites. And if you can keep track of every single person that you invited and how many of them said yes or no, so that you know whether there's 3 or 4 waiting to change their mind, you let me know, and I'll give you a medal for being better than I am.
All right, guys, by the way, like I said, I want you to clean your mess up when you guys are done. That includes you, Nodo. Hey, listen, the meeting is over. For those of you who need to be somewhere else, if you want to stay in the channel and talk for a little bit, you can. We can still, talk details, but as far as the official meeting, it is over. Thank you for showing up. I really appreciate everybody for coming in.
Hey, Dave, can you add